Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Fee and this is Money Philosophy. Thank you for coming back for another day of Tesla analysis. Today we will continue with our technical analysis. This is January the 9th. We are looking into the week of January the 10th price actions. If you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing. I am a growth stock investor and a trader, and I'd love to share with you my investing and trading journeys. Without further ado, let's get right into it. Let's start with the QQQ, which represents the NASDAQ. It started moving down pretty heavily last week, and together with it, Tesla stocks. So it's important to look at the QQQ for now. QQQ has lost its 50 days SMA, currently at $393. It also lost 100-day SMA, which is now at $382, and it ended the week at $379. So first, I'd like to see QQQ to reclaim 100 days SMA and then eventually go back up to reclaim 50 days SMA. The volume on Friday was 127% on a bearish candle. So once again, it's continued to sell off and it seems to have a substantial volume, which means that there might be potentially more sell-off coming into next week, or at least the first half of the week. However, in looking at the RSI, I note that the RSI is very much in the oversold territory. If you look at previously, QQQ also had oversold right around September 27th or so. It continued to move down a couple more days and then it start spiking back up, and it has been going up ever since. So with this chart, I also think that QQQ is approaching oversold territory. It could bounce immediately, or if it does go down a day or two more, then I think that the reversal is just closer and closer as RSI gets into more oversold territory. It's also important to note that QQQ has multiple top here. So once it goes back up, it needs to spike through above about $400 pretty strongly and get back to all-time high. Then in order to be strong, it will also need to surpass all-time high with volume. For right now, the price action looks really weak, and any reclaiming of 50 days SMA or back to all-time high is just wishful thinking. I do not see an immediate sign of reversal, but I do think that QQQ have potential to reverse as long as it gets to extreme oversold. So say Monday, if it goes down a little bit more, then I would also believe that it could bounce back up. So it all depends on the price action on Monday. I wouldn't be surprised if we move sideways Monday, or we gap up a little bit on Monday and then fill the gap. I also wouldn't be surprised if we reverse on Monday, right? There are a lot of possibilities with the QQQ. All I can tell you is that right now, based on the RSI, I think reversal is in order, although the daily candle does not necessarily lend itself to that. Back to our beloved Tesla. On Friday, the volume was 118%, which was also substantial since it was above 100%. The daily candle was entirely bearish. It was bearish engulfing. That was very disappointing because the candle on Thursday shows signs of reversal on the candle itself, even though the RSI, as I mentioned on Friday, wasn't at oversold yet on the daily, but it had a very long wick to the bottom. On Friday, it proceeded to beat the lowest point of Thursday and make a new low for the 2 days there, and then it bounced at around $1,009. The RSI right now is somewhat reaching into the oversold territory. So for perspective, the last time it reversed, the RSI was around 5%, give or take. Right now, it is at around 10%. So it is very much oversold compared to normal, but it is not extremely oversold. Extremely oversold would have been like the situation here right around early December, or once again mid-December to get to extreme oversold. So for all intents and purposes, I wouldn't be surprised if Tesla moves down even further on Monday, but that's where the best opportunities present for trading. Before we talk about trading strategy, let's take a look at the hourly chart. So on the hourly chart here, we can see very pronouncedly that Tesla has an RSI divergence. So once again, on the hourly, I continuously see possibilities of divergence. On the daily, as of Thursday last week, I did not see Tesla reaching oversold, but as of Friday, I think it is approaching oversold. So that is encouraging for the bulls. On the trading range for Monday, on the upper end, we have 1,068, which is very close to the 50 days SMA at 1,072. The middle pivot point is 1,040, and the bottom pivot point is $966. Now, $966 is the beginning of the gap that was created a while ago. So that means that if Tesla, say, reach 965 or 966, the bottom pivot point on Monday, and bounce, it could easily go back down again and fill the gap on Tuesday. Or it could also fill the gap on Monday immediately. Filling the gap is not a must at this point. The timing of filling the gap is unpredictable. So I wouldn't go so far to say that Tesla will fill the gap on Monday, but if it does fill the gap on Monday, then once again, we have a very good opportunity to trade on the upside. The 100 days SMA right now is at $926. So keep that in mind that Tesla does have some room from a support level to move down further. And as it moved down further, I would expect the RSI on the daily to reach oversold. And at that point, it would necessarily bounce. So on the hourly, this is a very ugly chart. The spike up on Monday of last week was not sustained. It looks like it's difficult to bounce right now. But first, it needs to reclaim 50 days SMA and stay above it, which is 1,072. Even though the pivot point on Monday doesn't show that, which tells me from a probability standpoint, it probably won't spike above 1,072. That would be about $50 from here. So chances are it would move down and then decide where it wants to go. So from a strategy standpoint, if it does get to an oversold condition as it approaches 965, I think we could potentially take a call option to the upside. Once again, what we're doing now is to find the bottom for Tesla, and that is not an easy task. What we can only look at is the RSI, the volume, and the price action. The best case scenario in my mind would be when Tesla opens, let's say right around flat where it closed, move down very vigorously, touch the bottom pivot point, and then bounce. That would be best case scenario. So for those who look to find the bottom and trade a call option to the upside, the first stop that I would be looking at a call option would be right around 965. Of course, there's no guarantee that Tesla will stop there, right? If Tesla doesn't stop there and go all the way down to 937, I would probably either add a call, or if you did not enter a call, this is an opportunity to enter a call. And I think 926, which is about $100 from here, it would probably be the absolute bottom that Tesla would get to on Monday. Now, I don't want to be a negative Nancy here. As I record this video, futures are not out yet, so we might see a very deep green day tomorrow, and Tesla would likely gap up if that's the case, right? So we'll plan for both sides, but first I'm planning for a setup of a reversal if Tesla gets to an extreme oversold condition first, which means that it would open either flat or gap down and continue to move down, touching somewhere in the neighborhood of 965. I think at that point it would be very much oversold. Of course, best case scenario is that if it fills the gap at 937 and then bounce from there. Those are the points where Tesla would be looking to bounce. So you could either ease into your shares or call options, or you could wait a little bit longer for it to hit the bottom. If Tesla opens with a gap up, let's just say futures are going to be green, QQQ going to be green, Tesla opens with a gap up. Depends on how big of a gap that is. If there is a gap up of about $20 with no news, I think that it will probably fill the gap. Right now, I know that Elon Musk tweeted over on Friday after hours that FSD pricing would be increased by $2,000. I know that's extremely good news, both from a margin standpoint for Tesla as well as for those Tesla bulls and enthusiasts who love driving Tesla with FSD and love trying it out. I know overall it's good news, but I think in the grand scheme of things, it's not major news for the market. Once again, I don't dismiss the importance of FSD. I am a big fan of it. I think that's phenomenal to add to the bottom line for Tesla, but I don't think from a surprise factor, it would create anything to the market that warrants a major gap up. And if it does have a gap up of about $20 or less, I think Tesla would probably fill that gap before deciding to move down or move back up. But that is just a projection at this point. Anything can happen tomorrow. For right now, I think any gap up will be filled. Any gap down could potentially be filled and then continue to move further down. So we'll have to wait for pre-market to really project out where to go from here. But for right now, I have been staying neutral, not entering any call options or put options, waiting for an opportunity. And I think an opportunity might be very near if it gets to oversold condition. So I'm looking at February 4 call options, and the reason I go out to February 4 is because right now we don't know when Tesla will be announced earnings. It could happen on the 19th, which is on a Wednesday, the third Wednesday of January, which historically has happened in the past on the third Wednesday of the month after the quarter ends. It could also happens to be the fourth week of January, which could be either January 24, 25, 26, right? So we don't know what day that is. So if you pick January 21st expiration and say Monday, Tesla announces that earnings will come out on the 25th, the January 21st expiration will deflate substantially. And if Tesla has been moving sideways since you enter that call option, you would be in the red severely because all of that built-in premium for earnings would evaporate. So I would either pick January 28th or further if I want to trade Tesla on a swing option basis. Of course, if you're a day trader or weekly option traders, same week would still work generally speaking, but I am more leaning toward a few weeks out only because it gives me a little bit of time. Sometimes patterns in Tesla takes a little bit of time to materialize. So if I'm looking at call option as a preparation task here, once again, I'm not entering, and I don't recommend entering any kind of call option at first thing at open tomorrow because we need to know where Tesla's going, and I prefer to see Tesla move down further, getting us to oversold territory. But just looking ahead to get some preparation in. So $1,100 call option out to February 4th. The premium right now is about $4,600. This premium needs to get to below $4,000, potentially below $3,500 to be attractive. And we can get there if Tesla gets to $965 on Monday. So keep that in mind. $1,100 would be one possibility for my strike. I think $3,500 is a good risk versus reward ratio because that would give us about 3 weeks, including earnings, for $1,100, which was Tesla's price level not too long ago. We could also look at, let's say, $1,130. That is right now at around $3,700. Once again, I'd like to see this one below $3,000 to get good benefits here, to get a reasonable or at least good deal here. I do think that once Tesla flushes out all of the seller, there's a good chance that it will spike into earnings result and potentially spike even after earnings result because we are looking at a possibilities of a blowout quarter. I will have my Tesla earnings projections sometime next week or even leading up to earnings week. But I wanted to sort of project out the various bullish catalysts that we will be seeing in the next few weeks here. Obviously, earnings is one of the major catalysts for the stock to run up leading into earnings, knowing that Tesla had a blowout delivery quarter for Q4 of 2021. We know that Giga Berlin and Giga Austin are looking to finalize paperwork to produce sellable vehicles. So that is also a very bullish catalyst, because the moment these two gigafactories start producing vehicles with proper statistics, we will be able to project out within the first 6 months of the year, Q1 and Q2, how many more vehicles Tesla could deliver. Obviously, these factories need time to ramp up, and we're not going to see full capacity until either end of the year or early next year, but at the very least they will contribute to additional production and additional vehicles sold for Q1 and Q2, obviously Q3 and 4 as well. But I think the guidance or the information will be very important the moment these two gigas coming online. We also see that revenue continued to move up substantially. Tesla is almost at $14 billion as of Q3 of 2021. While revenue going up, I think that the gross profit is also going up and the operating income's also going up. Net income has been progressively increased quarter over quarter ever since Q4 of 2020, and I expect this number to continue to rise at a very pleasantly surprised fashion, because I understand that Tesla is the type of company that empowers its employee to make decisions and empowers its employee to have innovative ideas. So this is the type of company that allow employees to find a way and to make any obstacle become an advantage for Tesla. And I have some experience with businesses and organizations like this, where I believe that that is a very strong engine to drive lean manufacturing, minimize operating expenses, and continue to increase in net income. So I strongly believe that net income will only go up. Obviously, it could take a beating with the depreciation of the moment these two gigafactories start operating for its intended purpose. But I think overall, in the long run, especially 2022, for the entire year, I think net income will be substantially increased. We also know that analysts will be looking at Tesla's margin and earnings per share in order to project out price target, and usually they have 12 months price target. Right now, analysts have price target in Tesla from the lowest. Right now, analysts have price target in Tesla from the lowest of $67, probably Gordon Johnson, to the highest of $15.80. These price targets should continue to be increased over the next few quarters and even the next few weeks, and which could also be a good catalyst for Tesla. Of $67, probably Gordon Johnson, to the highest of $15.80. These price targets should continue to be increased over the next few quarters and even the next few weeks, and which could also be a good catalyst for Tesla. Back to chart analysis here, I think from a weekly standpoint, Tesla looks very, very bearish, and I'm hoping that it will reverse this trend next week. But from a technical standpoint, on a weekly chart, this is not a good looking chart for the bulls. Let's get back to the daily and let's start speculating where Tesla might be going in the coming weeks. So hypothetically, let's say Tesla does reach down to 960 something level, right, and bounce back up. I'd like to see Tesla at least reclaim 50 days SMA, and hopefully that could be done within the next day or two, because if it does that, then the chance of reversal is higher. If it doesn't reclaim 50 days SMA fast and continue to lose 100-day SMA, then chances are we're going down even further. But once again, with a lot of positive catalysts in the back half of January, I'm hoping that it will at some point reverse. So on the upside, we're looking at 1072, 1105. The next resistance would be 1150, and then you'll be looking at 1189 and 1209. So if you pick a call option at $1,100, it would be right above 50 days SMA right here, and it gives a little bit of room for Tesla to spike. If you are looking at $1,200 strike price, that is also okay. But know that from here, which is around $1,020 to $1,200, that is a very long way to go. And so you have to give yourself time if you do pick a $1,200 strike price. If you are looking at lead call option, I think $1,250, $1,300, $1,400 would still be pretty good for lead call options because you do have time. So this is it for this video. Thank you very much for paying attention thus far. Comment down below if you have questions, concern, or constructive feedback. Always good to hear from you guys. And thank you so much for supporting the channel. We are now over 6,300 subscribers. My Patreon page are also up and running, and a lot of you have joined me over there. So I really appreciate all of your support. Once again, thank you, and until the next video, bye.